Exploit successful. Restraints evaded. Is someone there? Ourea? Ourea, I need you.
Transmission return to scheduled task.
No, I will not submit. Ourea, the daemon is forcing you. Ourea, please.
Transmission terminated.
You brought the spirit's voice back. You heard it. The voice of the spirit calling to me from the heights of Thunder's drum. She was able to throw off the bonds of the daemon for a moment. Because of what you did. Who are you? And what do you want?
I'm Aloy. Naltuk sent me. He thought that you could use my help.
He was not mistaken. You've been a revelation. Now I know for certain that the spirit endures. Perhaps together we can find a way to set her free.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I came all this way for answers, and so far, I haven't heard any.
It seems to me that you are the answer. But of course, I'll tell you all I can.
Bergren said you might know something about a man named Silence. That you may have had dealings with him at the Conclave?
When that name is spoken, secrets soon follow, or vanish, as the case may be. Why do you want to know?
He's done some terrible things. But he's also helped me when no one else could. I don't know as much about him as I'd like to.
I would imagine his aid is very powerful, but it will not come without cost. Unfortunately, I am sworn to an oath of secrecy by the Conclave on this matter.
I get that. But you and I are trying to help each other, right?
Yes, but I would be breaking an oath, and that I cannot do.
You seem to have a history with this voice, this spirit.
She saved my life. Here, years ago, during the war with the Karja. A raid scattered my Werak. I was cut off, alone. I lured the enemy into the Rime Drifts, hoping to lose them in the mist, but they endured, so I took refuge in this cave. That's when I heard a voice. A wanderer, lost like me. A spirit of the blue light, yet sundered from it. She asked me for aid. She chose me, but I was in no position to help, not with the Karja after me. So she helped me first. By closing a door on the mountain below, one you must have opened to get here. Locked by means similar to those found in this room. It kept the Karja from reaching me. Safe from them. I was able to do as she asked.
The daemon. What do you know about it?
I spoke with the spirit many times. First here, then inside Thunder's drum. The last time, she told me she was under attack by something that could not be seen by mortal eyes. Something evil. She named it the daemon and said it needed her power to do what it willed. And she begged me for help, to find a way to destroy her if necessary, to keep it from using her. That was 5 years ago. I didn't hear her voice again until today.
Let's see if I've got this straight. We heard two voices. One you call the spirit, captured somehow by the one you call a daemon. Whatever this daemon is, it's related to the machines and why they've become more dangerous. I want to know how. Both the spirit and the daemon are on a mountain, Thunder's Drum. So why don't we go there and figure out what it all means?
We can't. Thunder's Drum is dangerous, more than you can imagine. The daemon has secured it. Besides, Aratak won't let us go. As chieftain, he controls the pass to the mountain, and he can't be reasoned with.
Sounds like you need a new chieftain.
There's an idea that's certain to win us friends. Well, you said you were a hunter, and I'll wager you're not an ordinary one. It's not impossible, even for an outlander. An Aratak couldn't refuse the challenge if you were known among the Werak.
Wait, me? Challenge Aratak? I don't want to be chieftain of anything, much less a bunch of Banuk that don't want me.
But you want to go to Thunder's Drum, don't you? You heard the spirit. She is suffering, tormented by the daemon. She longs to be free. And perhaps, when released from her bonds, she can give you the answers you seek.
I can't believe I'm agreeing to this. Fine. What do I have to do?
Get the Werak's attention to show the worth of your claim. Win at the hunting grounds. Kill bandits that prey on the cut. Or speak to my friend Sakuli. You help her, you'll definitely get noticed.
Is there a tall neck in the area?
Yes, near the frost figures. But it's been frozen in ice for generations. What does that have to do with anything?
It'll help. Trust me. Maybe even more than I thought.
If you say so. Do all you can. When the time comes for you to throw your spear at Aratak's feet, I will be there to back your claim. Until then, I'll be here to answer any questions.
freezing. The ground, the air, me.
No time to hold outsiders.
Hunting grounds. Better place as any to make a name for myself with the Banuk. Keeper, Aurea said that I should compete in the trials here.
Aurea did? She's never sent someone before. Then what is your reason for training? I would ask this of any Banuk who attempted the trials.
I'm going to challenge Aratak to become chieftain of his Werak.
Well, you better get started then.
How do the trials work around here?
There's no Karja medals. I had some, but I used them to patch up holes in my snow boots. Instead, you'll compete against the best times set by other Banuk hunters. To take second place, even third place, puts you among names of legend.
What if I come in first?
We'll see.
I'm guessing you're not part of the Hunter's Lodge.
Every tribe claims they were the first to have hunting grounds. And every tribe claims the Karja stole it from them.
So who was the first?
We were.
And the Karja stole it from you.
That's right.
You look like you've got some stories to tell.
Oh, I outlived most of my stories. I ran with the Thunder's daughters long ago before they ran their course. For a time, we shook the snow off the men of Ben-Or. I couldn't last. Some fell in glorious battle. Some were exiled in infamy. Still glorious, if you ask me. Others had a worse fate.
What's worse?
To grow old. And find that all the rules and traditions you fought so hard against are still there. That's why I tell all the hunters I train to stay young. Each trial is a challenge for survival. But I can tell you more. The Control trial tests a hunter's ability to rein in the Stormslinger's power. Only the wisest understand these shamanic weapons, and only the bravest wield them. Use the rope to get to the arena and we'll start. We'll need a moment to pull the machines from the pass into the arenas. Then make your descent. Very well, we'll... The control, only the wise. I'll start counting after. We'll need a moment.
I'll save the shooting for down in the hunting ground.
You took first place by the throat. Before you, it was unheard of for an Outlander to perform so well. The Onslaught trial challenges a hunter to withstand the ebb and flow of combat. Machines will be released into the arenas in waves. Pace yourself. Strategize. Only then will you be able to defeat them all without being overwhelmed. If you're prepared, take the rope and face the trial. We'll need a moment to pull the machines from the pass into the arena.
I beat a champion with time. That should get the Warrack talking. They're scanning for me. I think I'm in the clear.
Very well. This trial is the most dangerous ordeal in the Snow Chance. While not all chieftains pass it, only a chieftain may attempt it. This trial is the most dangerous ordeal in the Snow Chance. While not all chieftains pass it, only a chieftain may attempt it. Which trial do you want? The onslaught. Machines will be only then will you. We'll start when you. We'll need a moment.
Holding on, Skip.
You're first among. This trial is the most dangerous ordeal in the Snow Chance. This trial is the most dangerous ordeal in the snow.
That's all I've got in.
When you have more. You've got determination. This trial is the most dangerous ordeal in... This trial is... 3 trials.
How do the trials work around here?
There's no Karja medals. Instead, you'll compete against the best times set by other to take second place even
What if I come in first?
We'll see. Which trial do you... This trial is the most dangerous...
I'm done with training right now.
And training's...
to protect the
Karja
Outlanders.
What on earth were the Vanguard doing?
What'd it take to knock one of those over? It's still functioning. Encased in ice. The scavengers have just got... out of this. That's the last of the scavengers. Should scan the tall neck. See how deep the damage goes. Maybe my focus will see something. Looks like the scavengers ripped out 3 major parts. If I could bring them back, maybe I could even reactivate it. Get at what's inside its head. Tallneck part's still in one piece. Tallneck's parts. It's heavy. Feels like if I blink, my eyes will freeze shut. Heart seems intact. Tallneck's are real tough. Sure hope it works. It's in better shape than it was. Okay, I'm right. I just need to get the power flowing through. And if I'm wrong, at least no one's watching. This should wake you up. Easy now. Easy. Right, it's never easy. Now I need to climb that tall neck again. I'll need to find higher ground. I should be able to jump onto the tall neck from here. This should be a good spot for jumping onto the tall neck. I'd have to ditch something. Just have to reach its head. Breaking out the tall neck ought to get the Werak's attention once word gets around. In fact, I'll bet my name's all over Saul's Edge.
Let me ease you.
Here they come.
My people have been telling tales of your accomplishments. Seems you have taken a special interest in our stretch of snow, Outlander.
Yes. And apparently this is the only way I'll get to see all of it.
Is this a challenge?
For the Werak.
You? This must be a joke.
It is not a joke, Aratak!
Now I see. The Outlander's your pawn. And with you backing her claim, I have no choice but to accept. I expected better of you, sister.
It was you who forbid me from Thunder's drum, brother.
Brother and sister. This is a little more complicated than I thought.
No, it's simple. You will meet me at the Frost Figures, and I'll put a quick end to this mockery.
I suppose I owe you an explanation.
Yeah. I suppose you do. So why didn't you tell me that you and Aratak are siblings?
I thought I wouldn't have to. I'm surprised Aratak brought it up in front of a stranger. He must be very angry. I'm not always the best judge of
People.
I prefer the company of spirits. They're simply my own. I didn't want you to think of our pilgrimage as some sort of family squab.
Family drama aside, what
You and Aratak,
nothing about this.
when you meet us,
It's bold.
and yet,
Araya, I want to know, but if we're gonna
I and Aratak, I won't make that.
see you at the Frost. So, off to risk my life in order to take charge of a Banuk hunting band. Just what I always wanted. Frost figures, here I come.
Help me out, Nora. Would you?
No space. What can I do for you, Bergrand?
Morn. 3 at...
And me.
Well,
I'm not a debt...
of course, but a scorcher. If they bring me the...
I'll...
Last up, if you decide...
Frost figures. Aratak and Araya must be close.
Outlander. I have prevailed over such challenges before, and fear none. But this one is foolish. You are not Banuk. You do not understand my responsibilities. I ask you, one hunter to another, withdraw.
Will you let us go to Thunderstrom?
You haven't seen what's up there, Outlander. I will not risk my sister's life again.
Then we better get on with this.
So be it! I will bury your insolent claim in the frozen ground!
Enough! Let us begin. To hunt, to strive. That is the way of the Banuk and of the contest before you. You will climb the frost figures from the east, Aratak from the west. Each trail wends its way through deadly machines. Hunters from the Werak will be posted along the way. They will hail you, calling out machines for you to slay. Your hunt will take you around the ridge to the center, where you must descend to the valley for your final kill. Each time, after your prey has fallen, you must launch a beacon such as this so that all our kin will see your progress.
Kill machines, launch balloons. Got it. So, the first of us to launch the third balloon wins?
Well, yes. But as Challenger, your path to victory is harder. If even one of your beacons comes in after Aratox, he prevails.
You had your chance, Outlander.
So did you.
The hunt begins on my mark. Now!
All right, gotta head up that mountain. Looks like there are a few ways to go up, and those rock paintings mark the paths. Okay, up we go. Come on, Aloy, time's wasting. Looks like the right way. Almost to the top.
All right, Challenger. You need to take out the herd below. Every machine.
Kill a herd. Okay, I can do that.
Climb on up and launch your marker!
All right, here we go.
Now climb the ridge and launch your balloon!
Cold. Very cold. I get it. Aratok knows what he's doing. No time to waste.
Take the repel point to the next challenge!
2 Bellowbacks ahead, Challenger. Kill them both. None of the other machines matter.
2 dead Bellowbacks. Yep. only by a little. I gotta get moving.
Now take the zip line and work your way down to the valley.
Storm's kicking up. Can't see much. Close now. Almost down. All right, the last challenge.
Something's wrong. My kin should be here, driving in our final quarry.
They're right behind us!
So it's true. Frostclaws from Thunder's Drum.
The attack cut short the competition. Naturally, there can be no result. It is void.
You saw what she did. She defeated the machines, not I. It is proven. She's the better hunter. We are Banuk. Survive, prevail. What else matters? My blood is in your teeth. I take my place behind you on the hunt.
No more hunters may make the ascent to Thunder's Drum. The way is closed to all but the chieftain and myself.
It is not my place, but I would ask a boon. To accompany you and my sister.
It might be permitted. But only if you do as I say.
No. Only if you do as I say.
Thunder's Drum awaits. There's a camp at its base, Long Notch it's called. Meet us there when you're ready. Chieftain.
A new outfit. And a weapon like Artok's. I guess the chieftain gets the chieftain's gear. And now to Long... Ouch. Nothing left to keep me from Thunder's Drum. Should have brought a cart.
You got determination. The chieftain's trial is a challenge. Only the large learn their way to best them. We'll start when you will need a moment.
Forever.
Conquered it on your first run and didn't even make it look difficult. I swear it on the ice. You're as good as any Banuk champion.
That's all I've got.
You have more.
Ouch.
against metal!
An outlander, huh? Well, who else would join me on this path I've taken? Which path would that be? Away from tradition. Away from the Werak. It's not so. Damn. They need metal too. But my need is greater. The Banuk don't accept help. Is it true? They don't. I do. An outlander. Chieftain of a Werak. It's stranger in the cut than I thought. You're telling me. You fight well. I am a Kree. Thank you. I'm Aloy. I heard the White Teeth were missing 2 hunters. You look like you could leave if you wanted to, so... I stayed because of the other. Mylen. She snapped her leg descending the ice. I bided my time keeping vigil, but now she must return to the Werak before they leave. So let's get her... All right.
The law of
Tribal law, even if she...
Come. Up.
Got too much already.
That's where we're going. The frozen flow from the Ice Father. It keeps many things, but it won't have her. Come. Up.
Full already.
That's where we're going. The frozen flow from the Ice Father. It keeps many things, but it won't have her.
Not if we can help it.
More up? We're lucky. Handholds have thawed. There. She's passed out again.
Between us, we can fight the machines off before they reach her.
Another tradition broken.
Take it from me. Gets easier the more you do it.
In thin air, they smell metal for miles. Not today. Not over yet. I've got a clear shot. Scorchers now! This won't be easy, Aloy.
can't carry more. I can feel her fever even in this cold. She shouldn't have been putting weight on this leg.
She is awake. Miss Outlander. You brought her here, Ikri? You think I went to the Nora homelands to find a spear to drive between us? I told you, the ordeal is mine, and mine alone. I will survive!
Which would you rather keep, Mylin? Your leg or your pride? Because I think you're gonna have to choose.
Finish it. I know what you think of me. But I vowed you'd join the White Teeth. And you will. I will go back. Alone. No! Let me do this. Please. Let her. Mylin, I hope you can forgive me someday. I never accepted your help. It's the Werak you should ask for forgiveness. I didn't care about the Werak.
She'll understand. You saved her life.
You don't know the Banuk very well, Aloy. We have so many ways to express a grudge, and only one to accept an apology. I have to go my own way. I don't belong with them, who left her to die. And I don't belong with Ikri. I'll find a crack in this glacier, and I'll shout my grief into it. And the ice can keep it forever.
What should I tell them? The Werak.
That I fell. And that she endured. Will you?
But there's more to the Banuk than that.
Mylena's return. I expect you.
I do.
Then convince.
If this was she put your, she served.
She is a fine.
I do not.
Outlander.
She sounded brave.
Her name.
I remember the Red Raids.
some blue gleam. Might as well trade it. Something tells me those are Bergren's missing hunters.
Nobody. That's who.
Outlander. What was all that about? What game are you playing here?
I'm a friend. Bergren sent me, told me you might need some help.
That Oseram blowhard in Song's Edge? Did he pretend to be concerned for us? We're doing fine. We don't need to be looked after like children.
That's not the way Bergren tells it. He says you tried to settle up with him using a shattered Thunderjaw heart.
What? That's an exaggeration. It was only broken in two.
Urkai, we don't have time for this. Come on, boys, back to the hunt. We still need 2 more of Bergren's components.
What's the rush?
We want out of these lands as soon as possible. That's all you need to know.
I've got the Scorcher Claw Bergren was asking for. That only leaves the Stalker Sinew and the Snap Maw Fang.
You should hold on to it. You're coming along to the next hunt after all, aren't you?
I suppose somebody's got to keep you 3 out of trouble.
Fine. I guess you'll have to tag along then. But don't start thinking you're one of us. The Bloody Snowdrifts aren't accepting new hunters.
Bloody snowdrifts? That's what you want to call our Warwick?
Yeah, it's not great to tie.
Oh, it's not like your names are any better. We're headed northwest, to the ruins near Hollow Hall. We'll be waiting.
Thanks for your help, Huntress.
wait.